Hey there YouTuber. So in this video we're going to install this ID Cooling SC234 ARGB CPU Cooler onto this Z490 Gaming X motherboard, Z490m. This is by Gigabyte, and I think we've got a i3-10320 is going to be our CPU for this. So let's get started. Alright, so first we have to figure out what we need for the installation. Obviously the tower, the fan, these two brackets that are on there, the mounting plate, this bracket here, there's 4 of these nuts and 4 of these hard plastic spacers. So let's start by putting the mounting plate underneath this. You can see this is symmetrical. It's only going to go on one way. Excuse me. Because it's symmetrical, you can put it on this way or that way, basically, right? So you'll see some of these mounting plates, they specifically make it so it can only go on one way, usually leaving space for one of the rivets on this side and the 2 on the other end. Alright, so that said, we can just pop this in the hole. And then you'll notice some companies also will have double-sided tape to make it easier to ensure that this stays in place, which isn't that big a deal if you're not holding the camera like I am. And voila. Alright, so I always like to orient mine the same way, pretty much this way. Now, we have to realize next is which direction our fan is going to be oriented. And you see these fasteners down here. We know here is going to be the back side of the case, and we'll want this to be exhausting outwards. So we're going to put it in like so. That means that these brackets have to have this threaded part looking this way, okay? So next we're going to put our spacers in. We got 4 of them. They're pretty easy to put in. Sometimes you actually have to put a little force into it, but not with these. Alright, like I said, and it looks like the 2 inner holes for this is LGA 1200. You could also follow these steps for LGA 1151. And voila. So from here we're going to finger tighten these, and then we're going to grab a Phillips head and finish them off. Just want to make sure you get a few threads on here and you're not cross threading. Okay, so done that. Now for, I think you can use a number 1 or a number 2. This happens to be number 1. And I won't be able to tighten this all the way down holding the camera. So imagine me doing this and then putting my hand right here to ensure that I can turn the Phillips head tightly. Alright, so they're on there nice and tight. Now we're going to put 4mm diameter of thermal paste in the very center. And you could practice this by measuring 4mm onto a paper towel and then trying to make it exactly that amount. Alright, so there's our thermal paste. Next we have to line this up with that guy and on the other side. So luckily these wires come out the center, so we don't have to be as concerned as you might be in some situations with lining them up. So once I get these lined up, we'll put a couple threads on it and jump to the other side. One thing also to note, this side has got a bigger gap from the end of the plate to this than that side. This is the side you want to have the fan on. So make sure when you're looking at this, here's the outside, or this is going to be the outside of the case, and your fan's going to be on this side. Alright, so once you get those few threads on there, go ahead and start tightening all the way down. Alright, so we can either put the fan on and make these connections, or we can do the connections before we put the fan on. So the fan has this connector, and then the tower has this. You're basically going to insert that into there, and that will make that connection solid. And that's what it'll look like when it's connected. So now we're going to take this fan and put it in place, and we're going to pull these tabs around and up into this cavity. All right. So once you pull them back, hopefully they fit into the cavity nice and easily. If not, you know, use your fingers. All right. So that leaves us one connector, I believe, and that is, actually we have two connectors. Here's our 4-pin for the CPU fan. It connects right here, and it's on. The motherboard will say CPU fan there. And then this is your addressable ARGB, and it goes in there like that, and you're done. All right, folks, now we need to get our software so that we can control our RGB light. So we're going to search for your motherboard, assuming it has the capability. In this case, it's the Gigabyte Z490m Gaming X, and I'm going to click on support. And it's usually the same steps. Oh, that's not good. All right, so I'm in a hotel. Internet is shoddy sometimes. So what we want to do is go down to utility, and we're looking for RGB Fusion. So then we're going to save this, and it will download to the download folders. Now, in case you're like me, the other computer doesn't have Wi-Fi, so we are going to have to transfer this over. But from here, you're going to unzip it, install it, and then we'll pick up from there. All right, so we have unzipped this, and just so you can see, this is the folder you're going to see, and then you want this file. We double clicked on it, and we're going to say run. Yes. So it goes through a few steps there, and let's see if it's on here. There it is, installed. So we're going to click on it, click yes, and hopefully it's going to open up. And voila. So it recognizes the name of the motherboard. Now the question is, we've got it right here. I'm going to click on blue, and it just automatically changed everything to blue. Okay, so it only sees the one addressable that would appear, which there's a second one right up front here, which the camera's out of focus, but if I had a second one here, we'd see that. So I could pulse this, so you can see it's changed. Actually got kind of a slow thing to it. And it occasionally is flashing. So if I want to change the speed, I do that here, and it's going to be a little quicker. All right, there's double flash, color cycle. It's going to go through all the colors: music, random, game. Game looks like it just shuts it off. So I'm going to pick static, and I'm going to go with red. We'll leave it that way. So you can also, you know, have your favorite colors and do some other things. Mess with the brightness. So it's not all that bright in here, but we can change the brightness as well. So thanks for checking out the video. That's going to do it. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.